Hello everybody and welcome to Romancefull's Tarot. I'm about to begin here with a reading. Now, this reading is dedicated to the sign of Virgo, and it is said this is a general reading, so it might not resonate with everybody. So please do take whatever resonates with you and just leave the rest of it aside. If it just doesn't feel right, then most likely it is just not meant for you. If, however, you do have some questions, you are searching for some answers, some guidance, and you would like to have a personal reading, please do contact me at romancefulltarot@gmail.com so I can send you the different type of readings that I can offer you, so we can go and find those answers for you. Now, on another note, if you have not yet subscribed to the channel and you do enjoy the channel and you do enjoy the videos, and you haven't yet subscribed, please do click the subscribe button to show your support to the channel and to myself, and it would be greatly appreciated. So let's go and see what your blind spot is. And voila. Doesn't mean much, does it? But it really does. So this is all about overlay. So when you draw this card, you are currently stuck in an overlay. You are being called to step out of it so as to base your thoughts, your words, and your actions on reality instead. Imagine that a person is in a prison cell from which there are just no escape. They cannot cope with the reality of the prison cell, and so they begin to escape from it with their mind. They start to play a game of pretend where the prison is a palace instead. The person who brings food to the cell every day is a servant. The walls are not the stone of a prison, but a medieval castle. The bars are pillars. The mind has the capacity to play pretend to such a degree that every element of reality can be seen as a different element. But this game is not really a game because your mental and emotional survival depends on it. This pretend reality sits over actual reality like an overlay. Most of us have experienced this overlay when we were children. We played pretend. For example, it was easy for us to see our family, golden retriever, as the dragon if we were pretending that we were a knight in shining white armor. But for some of us, this overlay went just far beyond pretend. In circumstances in which we could not cope with the reality of our childhood, the coping mechanism of pretend became a way to literally get away from and escape our reality. When this is the case, we start to feel the overlay is more real than the actual reality that we don't want to admit to. Even when it seems like we were not pretending and were in a reality to other people, we were still experiencing life through the lens of our overlay. It is common for children to use this coping technique because childhood is such a uniquely powerless experience for so many children. They cannot escape, they cannot make choices to change their reality, so they often end up developing coping mechanisms like overlays, so as to not be stuck in a tormenting reality where they have absolute no control. But sometimes this coping mechanism continues past childhood to a time when we actually do have the capacity to change our reality. When this is the case, this coping mechanism gets us into serious trouble. An overlay is a dangerous thing because it prevents us from seeing reality. We could be, heading towards a cliff, but because we are not looking at reality, we are looking at our overlay. We are convinced that it is just a beautiful horizon line. Now, overlays make it so we commit to something that isn't real, especially in relationships. And eventually, when that overlay begins to corrode, we end up in a reality that is just opposite to what we choose. Now, where an overlay more present than in a relationship, the reality of our relationship life is often very painful. We are desperate to have the vision we see in our heads of what we want. Maybe it's that picture of the perfect family that what we want. Maybe it's a picture of the perfect family which we would make us feel belonging and closeness and connection. Our commitment is to that picture of what we want. There is nothing wrong with creating that as long as we are creating it in our reality and in reality. The danger is that this picture can become an overlay. It can be what prevents us from actually seeing reality. And when this is the case, when we meet someone, we ignore all the red flags that are telling us that in reality this person does not match the vision of what we want. We instead become like casting directors, where what we want is actually a game of pretend played out on the stage of life. We are simply trying to pick the person who acts the most like they could play the character in the vision of our life as we would like it to be. Any sign that suggests that they could play that character will make us convinced that they are actually that character in reality. But the truth is, they're not. We are not in love with the actual person. We are in love with the character we want them to play in our life. And when they act in character, we approve of them. When they break from character, we disapprove of them and we try to criticize them back into character. We are often so desperate to have relationships that we are also misled others into believing that we actually are the character belonging to someone else's vision of what they want. We are like chameleons or actors trying to become those characters so we can be loved and wanted. But this is a disaster in the end because it is impossible to play pretend or to keep acting forever. We will break character. And when we do not see people clearly in reality for what they actually are, and when we do not enter into relationships in a completely authentic way, we are not creating a relationship in reality. If you have drawn this card, you're just in an overlay. Unless you see the overlay for what it is and see the reality underneath it, you will be unable to make the choice and changes that will manifest what you so desperately want in reality. Now you're just pretending that, they are all happening in reality when really they are a fantasy that you are living so that you do not have to face reality. That is a long card, I told you, but it is so full of wisdom. It is so true. I'm going to move over to the oracle, the heart and soul. I have here for you, you are an ocean of light unfolding through the infinite space of life. Through the space between each thought, you can see your true immortal nature. The oneness of spirit that dreamt itself into too many is a part of you. Like a whirlwind from heaven, it appears and reappears in its endless forms. And for the lovers' oracles, I have for you, you may not always understand why certain things happen. However, there is always a higher purpose to the events in your life. Through turmoil, a blessing will soon be revealed. And this was your reading. I do hope that you enjoyed it. I do hope that you got some interesting information from it. If you would like to have a personal reading, please do contact me at romancefulltarot@gmail.com. Please don't forget to subscribe. Stay tuned for the following readings. I have some every single day. Have a great day. Thank you for being there. Many blessings, and I'll be seeing you soon.